Good morning, dear readers. It's very, very, very hot in Brussels, in Belgium, but I still have my coffee. Always, always. Hope you're all right. Now, the good news is we were almost 60 last time reading the articles with me, so that's wonderful news for me. Today, again, two articles, one longer, another shorter. And the first one is called zelfrijdende auto's. It's like a self-driving car. We could say an autonomous car. And then the next article is about elephants. But as usual, I'm first going to read it. So you listen very well, and ideally you listen 2, 3 times and you try to understand already by yourself, but then afterwards we're going to analyze everything. So first, we listen carefully. Zelfrijdende auto. Kan je auto binnenkort met jou rondrijden? Onze ministers willen het testen. Het automerk Tesla mag het op de Vlaamse wegen testen. Zelfrijdende auto's kunnen het verkeer veiliger maken. Het Amerikaanse merk Tesla kreeg een akkoord van de Belgische en Vlaamse regering. Zo'n auto's rijden al een maand in Nederland. Testen zijn ook nodig in Nederland. Het verkeer in elk land is verschillend. Helemaal zelf rijden doet deze auto nog niet. De auto kan sturen. Hij kan binnen 1 rijstrook blijven. En hij kan van rijstrook wisselen. De mens blijft de echte chauffeur. Hij of zij moet in het verkeer opletten. Hij of zij moet kunnen bijsturen. Oké, olifanten. In Indonesië mag je niet meer op olifanten rijden. Het doet de dieren pijn. Daarom heeft de overheid het verboden. Dierenparken verliezen hun toelating als ze nog mensen op olifanten laten rijden. Indonesië is het eerste land in Azië dat dit verbiedt. Organisaties voor dierenrechten zijn blij. Olifanten zijn een van de slimste en meest gevoelige diersoorten. Als ze veel gewicht dragen op hun rug, doet het hen mentaal en lichamelijk pijn. So you should listen over and over again. And then one piece of advice, you should try not to read at the same time. So the very first time when you look at this article, or maybe not look at the article, but only listen and try not to see the words, because that's some kind of another exercise. If you listen only, you will train audition. If you read also, that's rather reading that you will exercise. So let's start and read now, because now this is the reading exercise. So it's literally like in English, self-riding car, which we could call in English an autonomous car. Kan je auto binnenkort met jou rondrijden? So this is a question. Can your car? And remember, we always in Dutch, sorry, we have one verb in the beginning and one at the end. Now, why did we swap verb subject? Because je auto is the subject. Is because it's a question. It's like in English, can your car rondrijden, ride around or drive around? Binnenkort means within short time, so very soon, with you. So can your car drive around with you, and not you with your car, but your car with you? That's the question. Onze ministers willen het testen. So our ministers want to test it. Het, it's it. And again, this is the subject. This is the first verb, willen, and testen is the second verb, which is at the end of the sentence. A little bit bigger maybe. Yes, that's better. Het automerk Tesla mag het op de Vlaamse wegen testen. So the car brand, because merk, it's a brand, the car brand Tesla. Mag is, we could translate it by may. May test it. Other verb at the end, but instead of saying may, I think in English in this situation we would say is allowed to. To may means is allowed to. Testen, to test it. And this is the it, het. On the Flemish roads. Weg, road, wegen, plural, roads. So Tesla is allowed to test it on the Flemish roads. Zelfrijdende auto's kunnen het verkeer veiliger maken. So self-riding cars or self-driving cars kunnen, it's the infinitive. But it's also, well, it's the infinitive, but it's also the plural of the present. So kunnen, can, next verb at the end. Can make het verkeer, traffic, veiliger, safer. Like in English, the comparative, you will say safer, veiliger. So veilig means safe. Now, I have to say something about verkeer. Verkeer, it's a word in two parts. Verkeer, 2 syllables. Now, if it's a word in 2 syllables, and the first part is gebever, something very short, then this word is always neutral and so has het and not de. Because remember, the in Dutch can be het or de. So this is a neutral word with het verkeer. As you have in German, as you have in Swedish, Scandinavian languages, and so on. Het Amerikaanse merk Tesla kreeg een akkoord van de Belgische en Vlaamse regering. So the American brand Tesla received, and I'm going to put it between brackets, it's the verb krijgen. You have to study the irregular verb, so it's krijgen. The simple past will be kreeg or plural kregen, and then the past participle will be gekregen. Remember, you have to study the irregular verbs. Okay, so now it's kreeg, received. This is the first part. So Tesla received an agreement, akkoord, of the Belgian and Flemish government. Regering is government. Now, if you are not Belgian and if you're not Belgian and not living in Belgium, probably you do not know that Belgium has different parts. The north part is Flanders, so they have the Flemish government. There is the south part, that's the French or Wallonian government, and then in Brussels you have also another government. So we have so many governments. So they have the agreement of the Belgian and the Flemish government. Zo'n auto's rijden al een maand in Nederland. So such cars drive already since a month or during a month or shortly a month in the Netherlands. Nederland, it's the Netherlands. So it's true, it started a month ago in the Netherlands. Testen zijn ook nodig in Nederland. So tests, testen, it's a verb, but it's also the plural of test. So tests are also necessary in the Netherlands. Oops, sorry. Het verkeer in elk land is verschillend. The traffic, and you see again, it's a word with het. It's a neutral word because it's 2 parts starting with ge, be, or ver. So traffic in each country is different. Now, can you pronounce this word different? What you should know is that you pronounce ver, then you pronounce s, and then you pronounce the ch like So it becomes verschillend. Verschillend. It's not like SCH in German where that becomes sh. Verschillend. So traffic in each country is different. Helemaal zelf rijden doet deze auto nog niet. So this whole part here is the subject. So driving completely on itself or by itself does this car not yet. Okay, so yes. Or we could say, let me see, this car does not, we could say also this car is the subject. This car does not drive completely by itself. Yes, in fact, I'm sorry. We should say that this is the subject. So this car does not yet completely drive by itself. Okay, so now we could have put the car in front of the sentence, but we don't have to. Like in English, we could say completely driving by itself. It's not done by this car. De auto kan sturen. So the car can steer, can move the steering wheel. The car can steer. Hij, yes, because in Dutch, a car is he. That's quite different from English. And you will probably have noticed when you talk to Dutch-speaking people, they will say probably he and she for objects. So, hij kan binnen een rijstrook blijven. So, it can, other verb at the end, stay in between or inside, it's rather inside one lane. Rijstrook, it's a driving lane. It can stay in one driving lane. En hij kan van rijstrook wisselen. And it, the car, can wisselen, change. En van rijstrook, yes, van is the preposition going with wisselen. It can change lanes. But in Dutch, change lanes, you will say wisselen van. Okay, if you have questions, do not hesitate. Write them here under the video, and then I will answer. De mens blijft de echte chauffeur. So mens, it's the human being. The human being stays the real chauffeur. And we see again this CH, which is pronounced like echte. Good. Hij of zij moet in het verkeer opletten. He or she, the human being, must opletten means like to pay attention in the traffic. It's still the human being who has to watch out and pay attention when the car is driving. Hij of zij moet kunnen bijsturen. He or she, the human being, must be able to bijsturen is like extra steering. Maybe we could say to adjust by steering. And you will see very often that in Dutch, there are two elements. There is so the separable part bij. This is the adjusting part. And then we have sturen, steering. So adjusting, steering. You can put two semantic concepts in one verb by putting, well, this small part in front of it. Okay? If you have questions, do not hesitate. And now try to explain in a few sentences this article in front of your mirror. It's a very good exercise. But now we're going to read olifanten, elephants. In Indonesië mag je niet meer op olifanten rijden. In Indonesia, you may not anymore, but again, the may, mag, I think in English rather would be you're not allowed to anymore, but I think it's easier for you to understand when I say may. So in Indonesia, you may not anymore ride. And compared to the other article, the previous one, drive and ride is the same verb in Dutch. But so here you cannot ride anymore on elephants. Het doet de dieren pijn. It does the animals pain. It gives them pain. It hurts them. And so to hurt, in fact, we could put pijn doen is to hurt. It hurts the animals. Daarom heeft de overheid het verboden. Therefore, de overheid, yeah, do you see we swapped verb and subject? Because there is one other word in the beginning, which is daarom, which is not a subject. So we swap. So therefore has the authority, even though in English it would probably be authorities, but in Dutch rather singular. Therefore, the authority has forbidden it. So it's been forbidden by the authorities, okay? Dierenparken verliezen hun toelating als ze nog mensen op olifanten laten rijden. This is a very long sentence, but we will manage. So, als means if, so we have to separate the sentence in a main clause and a subordinate clause. So this is the main clause, so we will have one verb in the beginning, one at the end, but as I can see, there is only one verb. So, animal parks lose their permission, toelating, if. Okay, and so now, als it's if, introduces the subordinate clause, meaning all the verbs are at the end of the sentence. All the verbs. Not one in the beginning, one at the end, all the verbs at the end. So, if they, and then laten rijden, they let ride, still people on elephants. Do you see mensen? Mensen, we had the word mens before, a human being, a person. But mensen, persons, human being, but I think I would translate by people. So if they let ride people on elephants. Indonesië is het eerste land in Azië dat dit verbiedt. So Indonesia is the first country in Asia that, and with that, okay, I should put a slash here because that introduces the subordinate clause. No, I do not want the corrector. Because you see, so you have to put the verbs at the end because this is a subordinate clause. Only there is nothing else in the sentence apart from subject and verb. So we do not really see it that it's put at the end. So it's the first country that verbiedt, we could say forbids or prohibits it. Or this. It's rather this. Het, it, did this. Okay, it's the first country to have forbidden riding on elephants. Was there something else I wanted to say? Yes. You see those two dots on Azië and Indonesië? The two dots only mean start a new syllable. Do not say Indonesië along E, which is also written I-E. No, it means say the I and say the E separately. Indonesië, Azië, I. Okay, right? Organisaties voor dierenrechten zijn blij. So organizations for dieren, animal rights, rechten, it's rights, are glad. They're happy, they're glad, blij, smiling. Olifanten zijn een van de slimste en meest gevoelige diersoorten. So elephants are one of the slimste, most intelligent, but like in English, when the word is a bit long, in English you will not put st at the end. You can say the longest, the fastest. Here, slim, it's a short word in Dutch, so we say slimste. But in English you will say the most intelligent and most sensitive sort of animal. But sort of animal, I would say here, species. So, yeah. Animals are very clever and very sensitive animals, and so diersoorten, species. Als ze veel gewicht dragen op hun rug, doet het hen mentaal en lichamelijk pijn. So again, this is the first part. This is the subclause, which we have in the beginning, als. And here we have the main clause, okay? So if they... And you see, I could have put, sorry, I'm going to do it the normal way because otherwise you will be confused, although this is possible, but we do not do it yet, sorry. So if they, and I have the verbs at the end here, there's only one verb, dragen. If they carry, dragen is to carry, if they carry a lot of weight on their back, and now we're going to start the main clause, but since we have this whole sentence in the beginning, we swap verb and subject, and the subject is het. So it does to them mentally and bodily, but maybe we would say physically pain. It does them pain, it hurts them mentally, mentaal, en lichamelijk, again the lichamelijk meaning physically, but lichaam means body. It hurts their mental state and their body. Okay? Do you have questions? Well, the only thing I want to say is that maybe, so this part, op hun rug, on their back, was first after the verb dragen, right? It was here. And why did I put it in front of dragen? Because for the moment, you remember the rule. I start a subordinate clause starting with if, when, because, etc. All the verbs at the end. But there is one part of the sentence that can be after the last verb. I think it's a bit too difficult for you for the moment, but so there is one part, and this part could have been after dragen, because it starts with a preposition, the preposition op. Okay? If you have questions, do not hesitate. I'm here to help you, but I hope you like the articles. If there are certain subjects you want me to talk about, please tell me. I try to keep it a bit light and not all the bad news about war, etc. Have a very nice day. It's very warm here. I don't know about you guys, but I hope to see you at least next week. See you later. Bye-bye.